Hello, and thanks for joining us on Universal Heritage Television Niger. We have for your delight once again our breakfast show, Daybreak Niger. My name is Afam Echi. In today's discussion, we are still going to look at the economic issues disturbing the country, Nigeria. And I have as an expert to talk about it, Professor Ikwumezie. Professor Ikwumezie is a professor of economics at the Imo State University. Prof, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. Now, Prof, let me ask you right away. In recent times, we have witnessed prices of some commodities tumbling, crashing down. Products like rice, diesel, cement. Dollar has been going back and forth. It moves up today, goes down tomorrow. In relation to the Naira value. But at least it moved away from 1,008 to maybe what it is now. Looking at what is happening, to what do we owe this reduction in prices? Would you think it is coming from maybe the performance of the economic managers? That's an indication that the economy is doing well, or is it just like a flash in the pan? So what can you say about what is happening?
I will answer this question this way. Inflation is defined as the general increase in the price level of goods and services. I want you to take note.
Yeah.
Increase in the general
price level of goods and services.
I'm not aware that the inflation rate has reduced in Nigeria. That the prices of few selected goods are coming down.
Okay.
A lot of reasons can be adduced.
Okay.
If there are incentives given to those particular manufacturers of those particular products,
okay,
that could lead to a reduction in price.
Nice.
If there is a new production techniques that makes production faster and cheaper for those particular goods.
Okay.
But on a general note, the inflationary rate is still very high. Okay. It is the dream of every economy to have a single-digit inflationary rate. Nigeria is still maintaining a double digits inflationary rate. However, I will add that one of the things that created a problem for this present administration is that they didn't settle down to look at Nigerian problems before they started making policies. And that's really created a problem, the issue of a removal of fuel subsidy and adoption of floating exchange rate and all that. Maybe they are now thinking, now that they're almost 1 year in office,
yeah,
they've been able to look at what the problems are, what the issues are, and they're gradually coming up with policies to tackle those problems.
Okay, yeah, what you just said now takes me to another issue. You talked about withdrawal of fuel subsidy. Yes, Nigeria currently is experiencing a withdrawal of fuel subsidy. We have an increase in tariff of electricity tariff. The interest rate is high. The inflation rate is high. And there are other economic policies that are very harsh to the populace. Now, how will you reconcile government's avowed policy or commitment to make life better for the common man? How do you relate it to what they are doing, to what we are seeing on ground?
Yeah, they may have said that. With the policy of increase in interest rates, you know what interest rate is all about.
Yeah, the cost of money.
The cost of money. And when you increase the interest rate, you are discouraging people from borrowing money. Okay. And when you do that, you are discouraging investment. Because it is only when people borrow that they invest. And when you discourage investment, you are discouraging economic growth. Then you talk of the electricity, increase in the electricity tariff. You can see that the manufacturing sector is almost dead. When we talk of increase in electricity tariff, we're not talking about domestic consumers. Look at the industrial sector. That sector is almost gone. And whatever remains of them, this particular policy will kill it. Will kill it.
Will kill it finally.
Then you talked about increase in what again?
The floating rate.
Is it floating rate?
Devaluation.
Well, the issue of devaluation, the devaluation of the Naira, the devaluation of the Naira and all that.
Subsidy withdrawal.
Subsidy withdrawal, making the price of fuel very high. Subsidy withdrawal, like I said in my last outing here, subsidy withdrawal is good. But what I spoke against was the suddenness of that withdrawal. We had expected the president to sit down, look at what is involved, and then put certain things in place, which they are doing now. Some refineries are working. Before that time, even the Dangote refinery was not working. They are talking about very soon, the Port Harcourt refinery will start functioning. These are things that would have been in place before that, so that these refineries can service Nigerians. Can service Nigerians. So when you now withdraw the fuel subsidy, even if you are going to import, it's just a little quantity of fuel that you will import. But the situation where 100% was imported and they are removing a fuel subsidy, that's what led us to the crisis. Immediately the prices of everything went up.
Okay, you
so for what you are saying about the talk about the common man, with all these problems you have highlighted, you can see that it runs contradictory to improving the lifestyle, the welfare of the common man.
Okay. So which means it is like saying the government is really not for the common man.
I have to say so. They will have that in mind, but then
what they are doing does not
favor the common man.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. When you were making your point, you said subsidy withdrawal is good. To what extent? Because some people may, withdrawing it is affecting. So some people who don't understand may wonder what it is that make it good. So maybe for their understanding.
I am one of those people who advocate for our crude oil to be refined here.
Okay.
The subsidy came to be because we export our crude oil and allow people to refine for us, and then we import.
Okay.
So anything that can wipe out that expenditure on we make Nigerian economy good.
Okay, so there is this allegation that is speculation rather that the government has been printing money, or is it minting money over time. It started from the Buhari's government and has continued to this period, and coupled with the devaluation of our Naira, they said these are the things that have made Naira so worthless. If you mention of 1 million or 2 million, it sounds so big, but it doesn't command any value. So what are your thoughts about the implication of minting money or printing money and then making our Naira worthless, that you cannot buy anything? Today, if you look at practically, if you go out there to buy, some of our currencies cannot buy anything again. I wonder what you can buy with 50 Naira. The 20 Naira is no longer even in existence. The pure water thing. And then go to buy granite. I went to buy granite one day and they told me there is no 100 Naira granite. I looked at just 200 Naira. So I said, which means over time, these currencies will be relevant.
Yes, I want to quickly differentiate between officially devaluing Naira and excessive printing of Naira.
Okay.
Governments or economic managers may decide to recommend that the value of a particular currency be devalued.
Okay.
Looking at what they have in mind.
Yeah.
One of the objectives of devaluation, official devaluation, is to make the home products cheap.
Yeah.
And by making it cheap, it will attract more demand or buyers
from outside.
And that will increase our exports. But unfortunately, with what is happening in this country, even if you devalue to zero, we are not even producing enough to take care of our consumption, to think of satisfying the outside demand.
Okay.
So that is one. Then the issue of printing of Naira. One of the attributes or qualities of a good money is that it must be scarce.
Okay.
When something you have designated as money is not scarce, it is the value becomes worthless. You cannot print without reference to your productivity.
Yeah.
You look at your productivity. Before, money has passed through levels of different levels of evolution.
Okay.
There was a time money printed by a country is tied to the amount of gold that is available for that country. Until we came into the paper money we are using now.
Yeah.
So excessive printing of money makes the value of money useless.
Okay, so this is like an advice to the government.
Yes, I understand that when Buhari was there, he printed some trillions. Tinubu came and printed some. So all this printing without tying it to economic productivity does not help the economy.
Okay. So how will you, on the strength of that, how will you evaluate the economic manager, those who are running our economy? You know, their performance. How would you relate? How would you see their capability, their capacity to manage our economy?
Well, unlike the previous administration, I think the current administration had made some efforts. The central bank, for example, have been trying to defend the Naira. Naira was heading to 2,000 to $1.
Yes.
But they have been able to bring it back to 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, whatever.
Yes.
And that is a very good defense. But I know these policies are short-term.
Okay, short-term.
They are short-term.
They are not sustainable.
They may not be sustainable. Let me use the word may.
Yes.
They may not be sustainable.
Yes.
We should be looking for long-term policies.
Okay. So what should come in the long term? What do you think should come in the long term?
What should come in the long term is that we should expand our production, economic production. Okay. Because what will make our money strong is when we export products.
Okay, we earn.
We earn foreign exchange. But when we don't, even the crude oil, which is largely our main foreign exchange earner,
yes.
I'm not sure we easily produce the OPEC quota because of insecurity and some other factors.
Okay.
The stealing of the crude oil and all that.
Anyway,
yes.
Okay. So. Yes, if we are not able to meet our OPEC quota,
yes,
the revenue level will go down. And that affects.
During Obasanjo's regime, he was able to, the CBN continued defending the Naira to the extent that the Naira never depreciated much. Then, because there was inflow of foreign exchange coming from the sale of crude oil, we were producing, we were selling, and up to Jonathan and all that. So these are, unless we begin to earn enough foreign exchange, these measures are just short-term that may not be sustained for a very long time. If it's affecting our foreign reserve, by the time we deplete our foreign reserve, then
because I understand that is what the economic managers are doing.
Yes, we'll run into problems.
Our foreign reserves.
Yeah.
And when there is nothing to fall back on,
then the problem comes.
Okay, now relative to relating the economy to the polity, how would you assess the quality of our politicians and the quality of our democracy? You know, relating what is happening economically to our so-called practice of democracy, and then the type of people who are running our affairs, the politicians. How would you relate the economic activities to
the democracy, the economy, as political economy? The democracy is on course, but I want to advise our politicians to be professional. Professional in the sense that joining politics is not all about money, what you get from it. But if you can get into politics and help to improve the well-being of the Nigerians, I think you'll be satisfied you have made a contribution. But what I see among our politicians is that most of them are interested in what I can get within the 4 years I'm elected. And in appointments of running the economy, political considerations are more than competence. They tend to lay heavily on political considerations and than competence.
Do the job.
Yes.
Okay. So
you can see when Obasanjo came to power, all these people that helped him to manage the economy, none of them were in his party. Soludo was in UNN, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, as a lecturer. He wasn't a party member. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was in the United States.
Yes.
And so on and so on. But he had to invite them. All of them. He had to invite them.
And
And
they ran the economy professionally.
Yes. And some of the agencies that enforce laws, like if you look at Obasanjo's regime, when he set up the EFCC, he invited Ribadu. I'm not sure Ribadu was in PDP. And Ribadu drove EFCC to a level.
Yes, and then there were fears. Politicians feared the
EFCC.
Unlike what it is now.
Today.
Everything appears. Okay. So maybe in effect, if we have somebody like Obasanjo to play back maybe something like what he did then, the economy would, because under that regime, we had the debt waiver, what do you call debt?
Yeah, the international relation is there. There is no way you can live like an island.
Okay.
The Obasanjo applied international relations, and with the crop of people he put as his economic managers who had contacts outside the country, including his own personal diplomacy, he was able to get the international community to waive yes. And they saw the seriousness in what he was doing.
Okay, we may be coming to the end of the program very soon, but before I let you go, let me ask two more questions. You see, budget is an economic tool that is used to manage the economy. But today, some of us are wondering what the budget does, whether it still has any relevance because of the way it is managed. You know, today, most budgets are not debated, especially at the state level. You see, the governor throws up the budget to the assembly. The next day, it is passed. Nobody looks at it. It's not subjected to any scrutiny. The same thing at the national level. Even when the budget is passed, it's not made known to the public. people hardly know what is in the budget. They will tell you everything is there for you to see. But go there to ask, make inquiry, you don't even see the budget. And even when the budget is approved and the releases, the monitoring, and so many other things. So do you think this budget still has any relevance, or is just there as to fulfill our righteousness? What is the relevance of budget today in the management of the economy?
Budget is relevant in the management of economy any day, any time. But unfortunately in Nigeria, some people see the budget as a mere academic paper. There are different types of budgets. Yeah. Majorly, about three major types. Okay. You have deficit budget, you have balanced budget, and you have surplus budget. And these types of budgets are all good, depending on the state of the economy.
You said they're all
good.
Good, okay.
Depending on the state of the economy.
Yeah.
If there is cash squeeze in the economy, and the government is pursuing expansion of activities, it goes for deficit budgeting, which means it spends more than what it gets during the period. So, by so doing, pumping more money. Government will embark on a lot of public expenditure. Yeah. By so doing, pumping money into the economy.
Just like we have in recent time, for some years now, we have continually run a deficit budget.
Yeah. So you can also have a balanced budget, assuming the economy is at equilibrium and you don't want to distort it. You run a balanced budget. You can also have a surplus budget, assuming the economy, you looked at the economy and see that it's driving to, if not properly checked, you get into inflation and all that. Okay. You prepare a surplus budget where you withdraws money from the economy. By so the money will have value, just like you see what central bank was doing to get the
sale of treasury bills.
Yes, no, the central bank when this thing happened was going after some institutions and agencies trying to
mop up
excess liquidity so that Naira can have a little value. Can have a little value. So these types of, but what we see is a government will prepare a surplus budget and then implement a deficit budget. In the end. So there is a contradiction. The idea is not on the preparation. The problem is not on the preparation, but the implementation. Okay. The implementation. The agencies should be very strict and then play along
the rules.
Yes, play along with government. This is what we want to achieve. Every budget has targets. It's a fiscal instrument for controlling economic activity. Yeah. But when the budget is thinking of something else, the operators are doing something different, then it's useless.
Okay, so in the case of budget, maybe implementation is at variance with
yes, implementation.
Okay.
Implementation.
Okay, finally, as an economist, looking at where we are today and the level of poverty, what would be your advice to the common man in the streets and a kind of a coping strategy, how we can navigate through or out of the situation we find ourselves? Do you have anything to tell the Nigerians?
Yeah, my brother, truly speaking, things are bad. And since things are bad, the common man should come to reality with terms. The present conditions, come to terms with present conditions. And I recommend that the common man, in the first place, should cut his coat according to his cloth, not according to his size. by so saying.
That is if there is a cloth.
Yes. The life does not, there doesn't exist in a vacuum. There must, for you as a living person, even when all sources of income are blocked, you must struggle to
find a way to
exist. So you go for those essential things. Go for those essential things. Forget capital projects now if you can't afford them, and concentrate on how to survive.
Okay. So, Prof, thank you for coming to the program. I will appreciate, and we don't mind having you next time around.
Thank you.
Yeah. Viewers, this is the much we can take from this program, and we've come to the end of it. We had Professor Ikwumezie, Professor of Economics at Imo State University, tell us that in the case of Nigeria, budget implementation runs contrary to the intended policy. And he said we can only get out of the woods by producing enough to earn enough to stabilize our economy. On this note, we say please continue to hold on to Universal Heritage Television Nigeria, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube platform. My name again is Afam Echi. Thank you so much.